to another episode of the Random Cinematic Universe, the podcast where we use a random film title generator to choose the films that we have to watch and then review on this podcast. This week, we are reviewing Confessions of a Shopaholic from 2009. I've got with me Jesse Nelson and Jacob Weidman. I'm your host, Zach Jones. We're gonna talk about this movie about severe mental illness
and addiction
and
uneven faces.
What?
Oh wait, well we'll get into it. Who directed it?
Okay. PJ Hogan is the director.
Do you guys know?
PJ Hogan has done a lot of rom-coms.
Yes. Best Friend's Wedding I think is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This film stars Ilsa Fisher,
Okay.
Hugh Dancy, Joan Cusack, John Goodman, John Lithgow,
Yes.
Fred Armisen. I think there's a couple other in there that I make notes.
Robert Stanton, who is Derek Smith. He's like a character actor.
Ed Helms is in this movie.
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter's in this movie.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the lady that took her job at Alette? Because I recognized her.
Yeah.
Spider Leg lady.
Oh, is it?
I can't remember her name, but she plays that type of character a lot.
For a second, I thought she was the daughter from Taken or Shannon from Lost, but she's not. She's that one that looks like her.
She's got a very short
Yeah.
name, like short first name, short last name. It's just like 4-letter first name, 4-letter last. I saw it in the credits when I came in, and I was like, that name looks familiar. And then she showed up. I'm like, right.
Cool. She usually plays annoyed bitch. Character.
Yeah. She's got a niche.
Is anyone gonna Google it, or do we care?
All right, I'll Google. I'll
It's
goggle.
on IMDb. He's got to check the IMDb.
No, is it IMDb?
No,
I mean,
it's
I
just
always Google the IMDb.
Do you not have just like the app?
It takes too
Yeah,
long.
no, but I already had the Wikipedia page open.
Oh, okay.
So it's just literally
Okay,
faster.
well, you
for
look
me.
up that. I'll give a synopsis of the film. This
Her
film.
name is Leslie Bibb.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was. I knew it was something
That's
short.
like a 6-letter first name.
Yeah, but Bib.
So basic synopsis
Bib
of the
Fortuna.
film is
Leslie
we follow-
Bib Fortuna.
This is Jake and I's first episode together, and I don't think Zach has realized that we are two forces of chaos.
This isn't.
Well, he was being all
Yeah,
quiet during the other episode, so
What?
this is gonna be
I'll
interesting.
shut up.
No, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing.
I haven't even done my thing yet.
Jacob,
Continue.
it's a bad thing.
Oh no, you said you found something earlier
continue.
today.
Okay,
Don't
let's-
worry about it.
hold on, guys. We're like 10 minutes into this.
Yeah.
Please explain the plot
We're
of the film.
spiking.
The plot of the film is as such. Rebecca is
Bloomwood?
Bloomwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bloomwood? Yeah. Anyway, she's a writer for a gardening magazine. Not what she wants to do. She's super into fashion. Her parents were the thriftiest people alive. John Goodman, Joan Cusack.
My favorite
Just-
couple, like parent couple, I think that I've ever seen. Like I
Pretty
love
good.
that.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah, they
good.
were
very, very wholesome, very
Yeah.
realistic to a degree.
Anyways, they were super thrifty. And so their daughter developed an obsession with shopping and buying things and spending money. So now as an adult, she has racked up a large amount of debt.
Can I add
No, we're gonna. I'm gonna talk about the debt after the synopsis.
No, I want to talk about the intro of the thriftiness.
No.
We'll get there when we talk about it. This is synopsis. Okay. Anyways, the magazine she works for goes under. She has all this debt. She's trying to get a new job. She wants to get a job at a fashion magazine.
Alette.
Doesn't get it. Accidentally sends a letter to the wrong magazine and gets hired at a financial magazine. Starts falling in love with the boss.
Which is healthy.
Yeah, and she starts giving financial advice while she herself is in constant debt and being chased by Derek Smith,
Yeah.
the debt collector.
The most dedicated debt collector.
Oh,
By
yeah.
the way, she is, and I quote, $16,162 in debt.
And a quarter.
Did anyone
No,
take
the
an issue?
quarter was the
Yeah,
sub-debt.
But did anyone take reference to the fact that I said 16,1200? That is dialogue that comes out of Kristen Ritter's mouth is your $16,1262 in debt. That is $17,262 in debt.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, they had just drank an entire bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she came up with 16,000, so she's already into the teen thousands.
Wait, what
Yeah.
does she say later on then when she pays it off?
That was only.
Oh, that was only the one
94.
card. That was the one
She
card.
only paid off the one debt collector, or at least
No. I think once it goes to collections, I do have some experience with this. You do have a general collections file, and they will consolidate your debts into a single collector.
Yeah, but he specifically calls her out for he's collecting one debt that's like $9,000.
and that was based on a store credit card.
$9,482.25.
That was a store credit.
And it
card.
was
I'm not a
specific
psychopath.
card.
I literally stopped. I finished watching this before we started recording. I don't have crazy number memory.
That doesn't make you not a psychopath.
I was plugging in the lights for the podcast while Jesse was finishing watching the film on his phone.
Yes.
Okay, let's just start getting into the movie from the beginning now.
So there's that montage at the beginning where it's like she's a little girl going through the store and she sees all the the beautiful things, and her mom always buys her the I guess practical is the way to say it. Practical shoes, practical clothes. It's
brown and it lasts.
She says the real price buys paying the real price buys you something that lasts 3 weeks. Paying the mom price buys you something brown that lasts forever.
So this film, by my understanding, is the first RCU film where we've worked with a cast member.
Did we? Ooh. Who in this movie did we work with?
So it's 2009. You have to rewind the clock roughly 11 years, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to recognize her. What, the girl's buying the nice shoes?
Yeah.
One of them's Peyton List.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And we were both of us worked on Anthem for a Teenage Prophet.
Yeah.
So this is officially she was a shot.
This is the first movie we've reviewed where we have directly worked with a cast member.
Yeah, and had direct interaction and conversation and all that shit.
It took how many episodes?
4. I think.
Yeah.
Granted, not necessarily saying that this is the 4th one we recorded. Also, we should probably address, seeing as we went from a boardroom.
Oh yeah.
To a garage.
Hi.
So our previous episodes were filmed in a nice boardroom.
In a production office. It was nice.
In the production office for a film company that we work with quite often, who were gracious enough to let us use the boardroom to record. But then spring came along. And it turned out that we had a lot of snow on the roof, and it melted fast, and it flooded the shit out of our building.
Absolutely, it did.
So we had to hightail it out of there pretty quick, and we have set up in Nina's garage in the back corner.
So thank you for that, Nina. Please don't come in and beat me up. I don't know if that part's in the episode.
I can't listen.
All we know is that
right
Nina
now.
is somewhere in that direction.
Yeah.
She's
wow,
over there.
way to dox her. Anyways, so yeah, she's. I just wanted to bring that's why I didn't want to go glaze past the intro because that was like 10 seconds into this movie. It's like, oh my god, there's an actress we worked with. She was 10 at the time.
Still counts.
Yeah. Was she in something recently?
She's in Karate Kid or is
Cobra
Kai.
Cobra Kai. That's what I was thinking of. Because I was the whole time I'm just like, why do I recognize her? Why do I recognize her? Oh right, it's because.
By the way, there's another when we get to it. I revealed this to Jacob. There's another character that we not worked with, but there's an actress where I recognized her. Small part. I was like, who the hell are you? And when I tell you where she's from, you're gonna be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Character first.
No, when we get there, we will get there.
Oh no, sorry. I thought you meant another person from Cobra Kai.
Oh no. From the movie that we're reviewing or trying to review at least.
Yes. Yeah.
We've really not gone past the first 10 seconds.
It really throws me off whenever Kristen Ritter plays not like a snarky, grumpy character.
So I have a question. What's your thoughts on Veronica Mars where she plays both?
I've never seen Veronica Mars.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, she's like the kind of bubbly, but then she's just also kind of psychopathic bitch and also the villain of the movie. So it's like it's very jarring that you get both Kristen Ritters in one story.
Oh,
yeah.
I kind of have to watch that now.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of, I don't want to jump too hard ahead, but certain characters have a role they're in, and then you're just kind of you can't unsee them in that to a degree, right? Dexter has really ruined John Lithgow, where I assume in all times the other shoe's about to drop. I was every word he said was I felt like there was hidden malice. But I don't know. It was just
But he's also Barney's dad.
He's so nice sometimes. He's the nicest guy, and I think that's why they cast him in Dexter. But it's ruined my perception of John Lithgow. I was waiting for him to be the bad guy of this movie, which is Fred Armisen to a degree.
Which
Yeah.
I think
He was
I think Fred
ineffective
Armisen wanted to be the bad guy in the movie. He wasn't.
Yeah, I guess he did want to have more impact than he did.
Derek Smith is the bad guy. He had more of an effective.
Rebecca is the bad guy of this movie.
Yeah.
It's true.
So yeah, she has.
What's her other name though?
The girl with the green scarf.
The girl with the what? Oh God.
Are you not wearing the scarf?
The girl with the
green scarf. That almost looks like. That looks exactly like the scarf.
That's why
it's
freaked
very
out,
similar.
and I was like, I found it, guys.
It's very similar.
Did you just own this scarf?
No,
did you buy it at an auction?
Ashley had it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a quick picture of this.
Did she? Now hold on, because I this is the first time I've seen this movie, but I do know that this is like a very I wouldn't say like beloved, but like it's a known rom-com. Like it's one of the known ones.
Yeah.
Did she buy it?
No,
because
I doubt it.
You need to You need to go.
No, because I mentioned that I was watching it, and like blank looks when I mentioned it.
Good poker faces.
Could be.
Yeah, I'd say like with the cast and this had to have been a higher budget film. As far as rom-coms go,
I would say, yeah.
I can see why this would be one of the
44 mil.
So 44 mil in 2009 is a big budget for a comedy.
Yep.
So I can see why this would have become one of the more lasting rom-coms. It wasn't like it's not actually a bad movie. I mean, there's bad things about it, but the film itself isn't like the acting's not bad. The story
I like the acting. I think the acting was actually
I would
really
say
good.
like to that fact, I think the movie is inherently like average in structure. I think direction and acting elevate it. I think if you took the script as it was, it's so fucking mundane and basic. But like, Isla Fisher is someone who is not in enough things, and she is a comedic like force. I've always like, in my opinion, her trying to get the letter was one of the funniest fucking things I have seen in a long time. In the coat rack,
I have that written as a note. That the whole coat rack gag is actually really funny.
It's so fucking good. She sells it so good.
When she's swinging in the coat, trying to just like...
the dialogue of the mailman during that is so cringy.
It's so bad. Like, again, like...
You gonna go for dinner? Also, I deliver the mail. I've never lost a letter.
Yeah. I am the ultimate mailman. It's my wrestler name, by the way.
Wait, what's happening with those clothes?
Yeah. Like when her hand like shot out from the sleeve, I was like, eee. Like it was so good.
What we need to see is a rom-com with Isla.
I thought it was Isla. Or is it?
It's Isla. I think. Isla Fisher.
I want to try to slur it together.
We need a rom-com with her and her husband.
Who's she married to again? I do know this.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's right.
Shit,
right. Yeah.
For I think they've been married since
wasn't it Michael Cera?
What?
In Arrested Development.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then it was also, what's his name? Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
It was both of them.
So Rebecca has some debt. Let's just go back to the movie.
Okay, so the one thing, they talk about her debt, and we see her apartment full of designer clothes. Like she works and lives in Manhattan.
Yeah.
She's on Manhattan Island.
I have a question. Have you guys ever been in like unvalid debt? Not student loans, not like have you ever
just like shitty credit card debt?
Shitty personal finance skill debt.
No, I have not.
I maxed out my first credit card, but it was only like $500.
Okay, Jacob.
But I did leave it for like 10 years.
And so
Okay, so we're saying not school, not business,
not like
personal.
not like financing a car, not
traveling. I guess.
I guess if you rack up a debt because of that.
I have not got debt from shopping for designer clothes. No.
Okay, so I don't have that, but I don't have it anymore. I was at one point $12,548 in debt due to just shitty financial decisions, living off credit cards. There was some like I don't say hardships, but like things came up that kind of got me into there. But it was just like I was shit at finances. So I've like been $12,000 in debt.
Are you like going out to eat every night, sort of thing?
It was just like I wasn't aware of like not that I wasn't aware, but I just didn't rationalize the number difference between like buying food at home versus eating out.
Yeah.
Buying video games whenever the fuck I wanted, which doesn't sound a lot, but when it's $60 a game and you're buying it like that, it starts to fucking add up. Like shit, like just frivolous purchasing. So like I do get actually a big side of this, and like the collector's calling you going, nope. Granted, you don't give excuses. You just go, that's a 1-800 number. I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
Block.
And then it would be like, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, like, let this thing slide until so you can pay back this one, and then you let this slide and slip the finger in the damn thing. It's awful. But I didn't do it for clothes. But I'm saying, like, this is an interesting movie about that side of it, and I think it handles it pretty well of, like, the crushing debt.
Oh, yeah, and the one thing that I did like, I was really worried that the movie was going to glorify... just use all the credit cards and get new credit cards and keep buying stuff. And they actually really did a good job of like all the people around her being like, you need to fix this, right?
Yeah.
Like, that this is a problem.
Yeah.
Especially with the bridesmaid dress. It was like, that it's like, you did a really shitty thing.
Well, no, like even at the beginning, like they really showcased that she went, that's the scarf. Yeah. She buys with $30 cash, $50 cash, 30 on a card.
20 on another card.
20 on a card, and then cash from...
tries to get cash back from a hot dog stand, and instead the guy...
write a check to.
Who very threateningly offers to sell her 97 hot dogs. Yeah. The fucking pushing and the lighting up, where he's like, you're going to buy 97 hot dogs, was like... it was horrifying. Yeah.
That's why the other guy stepped in and was just like, here's $20.
Which it was, by the way, the one was like, oh god, this is a meat cute.
Yeah.
The moment it happened, I'm like, oh no, they're meeting cute over meat. Like it's
it's an actual meat.
It's an actual meat cute.
God damn.
Yeah. So the thing that I wanted to bring up about this is we see her apartment, we see all the clothes she has, we see the types of stores she shops in.
She's buying Prada,
she's buying $120 scarf.
Bradbury. Yeah.
There is no way that she was only $13,000.
Excuse me. Is that a thing? I thought Burberry.
Or $16,000.
Burberry. Sorry.
Burberry stuff. There is no way possible she was only in that much debt.
Yeah. And also what she was...
16,000. Well, hold on.
But she was
16,000 in 2009.
Yeah, but she's still buying purses that were $500, shoes that were $500 a pair.
But the thing is, hold on.
But she did have a job.
She had a job. And as someone, by the way, I wasn't just like 12,000 debt and then I was fine. I was containing it at $12,000 of debt.
Yeah.
Right? The interest was basically keeping it there.
But that's what I'm saying is like it was talking about her getting her paycheck and stuff. And I think it did mention how much her paycheck was at one point. I just feel like...
said, I think the dress was going to cost her her first month's paycheck.
Yeah. But it was at the rate she was purchasing things. Like I feel like this is one of those things like she was buying a big ticket item every 3-4 days. Like, she probably had much more debt.
But then when she sold things at the end...
So, I hate this. I just went to the U.S. Dollar inflation calculator.
Yeah.
17,262, not $16,162 in 2009 is 22,621 in 2022.
Yeah.
Typically, we go up 3% a year.
How much has minimum wage gone up in that time?
Hasn't. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, so let's say she's over 20 grand in debt. That's
okay. We're getting there.
And again, like the thing with debt that people don't realize, but debt doesn't go endless because your cards max out.
Yeah.
What it becomes is that
her cards apparently just only max out sometimes.
No.
Okay,
because because what you're doing, again, I actually have to give like some realistic credit. Is like because you are transferring shit balances everywhere. Mm-hmm. You are picking a card to be your hero card, and you are offsetting debt elsewhere.
Well, she went through the... But when she bought the
thing.
Scarf, she did the whole thing, and it was like, had to get $20 for the hot dog.
Did you see the face? Put $30 on this card.
Yeah.
She did not know fully well how much was available on that card.
True.
It's the scene a little bit later than that where she just buys a bunch more stuff, and it's like, you just did this whole hot dog scarf thing, and now suddenly you just spent a bunch more money.
Needing a check to get the money, and there was inconsistencies with the use of her cards where she should have hit the point
before she got her first work check,
where they were maxed out entirely.
Right.
I mean, she did get her paycheck, and then
she would have gotten her paycheck though from the
I guess
the
final,
terminated final notice.
Paycheck,
and then Kristen Ritter ripped up her rent check.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
It's like, okay.
So there could have been some
Which
paying off of stuff
in New York, that rent check could have been like $8,000 right there.
Because that was a decent New York apartment too, a Manhattan
apartment.
But
But her parents pay for it. Kristen Ritter's parents.
Yeah.
She makes that line of like, "It's my apartment. Well, it's my parents' apartment."
Yeah.
I'm Jessica Jones. I was. They canceled my show,
but now it's back on Disney Plus.
March 15th it is.
Which is also where you can watch Confessions of a Shopaholic.
This episode is brought to you by Disney Plus. It's not. Please don't snipe us.
Don't. Stay away from me, mouse.
Oh. I'm going to sue you. Oh.
Mick Mouse.
So when she goes to her interview, or she goes to get into the building for the interview.
Yeah.
And she meets her new sassy friend.
Yeah.
And
the receptionist guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
Yeah.
But when he informs her that, they filled the position internally, there's no job at this magazine, and then what's her name walks by
with Pussycat Dolls playing. Yes.
Yeah.
That song plays every time she's in a scene.
And Isla Fisher's purse pops a boner.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I was just
we need to
popped a boner.
Fucking wind. She bought the scarf. Why did she buy the scarf? Because a fucking mannequin came to life and convinced her and gaslit her into buying a scarf. And it was done too well. Like, it was amazingly well done, and I fucking hate it. I don't know what was CG and what was real.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I don't. Like, obviously, the facial expressions had to be CG, but, like, was that someone in a mannequin costume that they like, enhanced?
Yeah.
Or is it just a fully like... For a second, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm watching a Guillermo del Toro movie." Like for 5 seconds, I was like, "What is happening right now?"
Or an episode of Doctor Who.
I thought, yes, I thought the fucking mannequin at any point was gonna be like, "My eyes are here," and like I'm like, "No, I don't want that."
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gag keeps happening the whole movie, and I don't like it, but I love it.
But
I'm so torn.
It's really well done,
especially the one with eyes later in the window. Because they had to animate the eyes on top of it, and then there's a sheen of a window.
Eyes. Yeah.
Anyways, continue. To an interview. I just thought we couldn't glaze over the fucking mannequins.
Yeah. So like she ends up getting they get super fucking fucked up on tequila while they're trying to add up all. We missed a beat. What did we miss?
So she went to get a job at Alette, couldn't, but then the receptionist guy says, "Well, hey, this is all these magazines are owned by the same company." And I know that there's an interview for personal savings, which apparently you can just cold call an interview and not arrange it. Whatever.
She was somehow on the list when he brought her into the office. It was like Rebecca Bloomwood.
Yeah,
it could have just been front desk.
And so she ends up at an interview for a savings magazine, bombs the shit out of the interview because and also he's the guy that paid for her hot dog money, that laundered the hot dog money, to buy the scarf.
Also, this is the first instance.
Grandma scarf.
Oh, and she's a chronic liar.
Yeah.
Big time.
I was gonna say this is the first instance of her chronic excuses coming up, which she somehow always ties back to Finland.
Yeah, I wanted to address that. Well, because no one ever thinks about Finland, and right now that is particularly incorrect. Yeah. Guess when we recorded this episode, we'll never tell.
Not Finland.
What happened in the world this last week?
Is Finland in the European Union or not? We don't know yet. So, anyways, yeah, but she says she speaks Finnish. Her aunt had an accident in Finland.
She got an infection in Finland.
Because that's a thing.
I do like how her parents bought into it later, and they're like, this beach reminds us of our time growing up in Finland.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's implied that it's something she gets from her dad.
Yeah.
Like her dad just always jokes about growing up in Finland, and that's probably where she gets it from. Yeah. Also, just John Goodman makes everything better.
I felt comfortable in every fucking scene, which is funny because like he's also disturbed me, but not the way John Lithgow has.
No,
John Lithgow.
What was the
where there's
bunker, underground bunker,
21 Cloverfield Lane or 12
yeah, he gets weird in that one.
Yeah, he gets weird in a lot of movies, man. John Goodman is a scary motherfucker.
It's true.
Yeah,
but he's also like just the best movie dad ever.
He's just so fucking wholesome.
That's what I love. Yeah, him and Joan Cusack, like that is a great parent.
Oh, they were great together.
Yeah.
Like normally, Joan Cusack annoys the shit out of me
by design.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Joan is very good at playing like that shrill psychopath, which is funny because apparently she's very nice in real life, unlike her.
Unlike her brother.
Let's say that you did.
No, you officially said it first.
I didn't. All right, we can't say we worked with. Yeah, because worked with the sibling.
For those of you at home, we may or may not have worked with Joan Cusack's sibling,
Jonathan Cusack.
Oh,
anyways, so what happens is she does the interview at Savings, goes terrible. Then they go home and get fucking. By the way, this movie is very much just like a Hallmark movie, but with money thrown at it.
Yeah,
and a little bit of changes where I actually loved the scene where they were getting blasted every time they talk about her buying. Like it's like you bought this, another shot. Like it was a fun kind of.
I don't even want to talk about this one.
Yeah. Which, by the way, some of them were valid. Some of them were like that's a totally normal price to spend. Like she's like $200 on underwear. One, underwear is always expensive. Two, women's underwear is fucking stupid expensive. $200 on underwear is not a lot.
And if the scarf was like 200.
No, it was 120. 120.
Oh, but then they sold it at the end of the movie for 200.
Yeah,
they auctioned it off. Well, it had more value.
Well, no, I would have gone for even higher. Like after the whole celebrity fandom thing.
Here's the thing. I think as a whole, like I think her amount of debt is valid, but the numbers are still not super like. I don't say consistent, but like. They're thrown out there. It's almost like Birdemic numbers where they just throw numbers out as if it's you just accept it.
Oh, there was a lot of just here. I'm a writer. I need a number.
Yeah,
like 17,000, 1,200.
16,000, 1,200. 17,000 is the proper number.
Yeah.
If this video gets 16,000, 1,200 views, I will be very happy.
Anyway, so they get super drunk. She writes a letter. She's gonna write an article to Alette.
Yeah, Alette, the fashion magazine.
The fashion magazine to try and get a job there, prove that she can write it. So she writes that, and then she writes like a fuck you letter to. She
sends magazine. A $20 bill, which is what he covered her for.
Yeah.
And
take this bill and shove it up your ass.
Or take this job and shove it up your ass or something like that.
And. Somehow, when they're addressing the envelopes got switched.
Which is fair. They probably wrote the address on the envelopes, put the letters in, but then probably just fucked up which letter went in which envelope.
The homeless person went around the corner and the letters got mixed up.
I thought that was going to be a thing.
But it doesn't make sense because the addresses are already
I know, and I'm glad they didn't because that would be weird. But they foreshadowed the homeless woman way before she's actually relevant. Mm-hmm. Like the entire movie several times before she's relevant.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not pick it up.
Yeah, she first shows up when they walk away after putting the letters in. She comes around the corner, and the scene holds on her for a long time.
She's principal cast.
You know what it probably was? I was writing a note when she walked in.
Yeah, I didn't write notes. I was eating a cheeseburger in my car.
So, anyways, she ends up getting hired for the job at the financial magazine, and so she shows up
because he interpreted her article as like a metaphor.
Not Sherman. Brandon.
For Luke Brandon. He interpreted her story as like a metaphor for what was it again?
Something financial.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the APR cards was the first one.
Isn't the point that it made it relatable and I don't even remember what it was?
Yeah. Which is, I like that idea, like just generally, he had the idea of like, okay, a finance magazine is generally not like...
For the layman.
Yeah. So having a column that's like, let's take financial terms and spell it out. I think that's a nice idea of a... like a lot of the story beats I really like. I think structurally the movie has problems, but like when someone's like, oh, I have this idea. The treatment I love, basically is the way I would describe it. Like I love the general idea and flow. And I think the cast save it. There are problems with this movie though.
Yes. So anyway, another one of my favorite jokes in this film is he sends her to write an article about something.
Is it the APR cards?
I think. And then, so she's off, and then she's with Kristen Ritter, and they're in a bookstore, and
oh god,
she buys finances for dummies, which she then can't afford. So she's in the bookstore copying out of the book into her notebook. But then later on, he comes back and he goes, "This reads like you like you just got it out of financing for dummies. And she's like, well, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no, but like you haven't found any, like, this is just so here's what they are. He's like, you need to like give me
an angle.
Give me a good angle on this story. So he walks away. She turns around, types into her computer, and then he comes back up behind her and just goes, Did you just Google what is a good angle on this? Yes.
Am I fired? No.
Get your jacket.
Come
And then they went to that like weird
Comatech.
and they just attacked like I get what he's saying. It's like we have to ask hard hitting questions, but like they crashed that conference.
Oh
Yeah.
That's not good journalism. That's
No.
that's very that's like Fox News journalism. Shots fired.
It's gotcha journalism.
Yeah, 100%. It's like the guy's like, we'll take questions after the report. He's saying like, oh yeah, I'll ask your question. Go ahead. And they're like, we're doing it now.
Oh yeah, but also at the same time, fucking with finance bros. Nice.
I liked her like repeat of long pause, no answer. He's like, oh, whatever, it works.
It's fine. Yeah, so she starts like decently getting a column going that and she decides to go by a pseudonym of the girl in the green scarf, so that she's more accessible to the everyman, right?
Yeah.
She's just could be anyone.
She's not Becky.
Yeah.
And now
The only reason she took that was
she didn't want her own name attached to a financial magazine, so she made up this excuse of like, I can be more, accessible if we just come up with this girl in the green scarf thing.
And just prior to that, do you remember what Luke Brandon says? Like the direction they're taking the magazine in? He says, "We no longer examine, we probe." And his secretary goes, "Woo."
So that secretary, I can't remember her name. She's fucking weird, dude.
But she's in a lot of stuff, and she always plays that character where she's
a
just
freak.
like, "Sweetheart, can I get you some milk and some cookies?"
No,
Do
when
you
she
and your
this
friends
is
want
your office. This is your cubicle. It's 4x3, isn't that great? Like that's
They're all 4x3.
They're all 4x3.
Sorry, 6x3.
Yeah.
Which is for those curious, the size of this table.
Yeah, they're small. But she's just like weirdly like they're all the cubicles are uniform. Isn't that just fantastic?
Isn't it just wonderful?
She's like,
but what's her name? Like she's in so much,
Yeah.
and she's always that character.
yeah.
let me look her up. Let me get a name for this.
Okay. It's about this point in the movie where Fred Armisen shows up, and I get super excited because I love Fred Armisen.
And he bounces off trees. Did you see that when he's playing the golf and his head goes?
Julie Haggerty.
Oh, that's something.
She was in Marriage Story. Anyways, I'm sorry. She did not play that character in Marriage Story.
Okay. Fred Armisen basically plays like just under.
He's the
John Lithgow.
like if this was a retail store, he's the assistant manager.
Yeah, like he's not in
to the
charge.
regional manager.
So basically, it's one building that houses all these different magazines that are on all
Yeah.
the different levels, and like Alette is like the top floor, like it's the most
And
successful
like a
one.
week after this movie ends, like a gremlin outbreak happens.
In the best spoof / sequel of all time.
Gremlins 2.
Oh, so good. Yeah, so Fred Armisen, for whatever reason, doesn't like.
He is
just
kind
got
of
his way of doing things, I think. And
Yeah, like he's just very opinionated because his whole thing is like to a degree he's concerned about Rebecca because she is like not
Conventional.
Yeah, she's fish out of water in the world, but like she keeps on getting results, but then he's like mad she's getting results, and I guess it's like it's not the way he wants it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very much like he's like, this isn't the way we've done it, this isn't the way we get success, and when she is successful, he's like resentful of that.
And I guess to defend it, she's
She's
stumbling
lucks the
her
fuck
way
out,
into
yeah.
this. Yeah, like from an outside perspective, you're like, why this girl is lying to you?
The bank conversation should not have gone that well, or the
umbrella.
finish one where she slaps a man and he gets fucking hard as a rock, and he's like,
His face.
"We Scandinavians, we like her
A lot.
a lot." Like that is a horny ass Finn.
Nobody checks up on Finland, so they're
Nobody checks up on Finland.
They've
which
been
is
alone for a
probably
long
how we got
time.
where we are. I was really okay. We got to talk about the fact that Derek Smith. Now, the reason that we have no problem remembering Derek Smith's name is because it is mentioned every 3 minutes in the movie.
Way, it's also a very good, simple but memorable name. It is like a mind trap name. They did a good job with coming up with like a name that's not like crazy.
Yeah,
but it is like I don't think I'll ever forget Derek Smith's name.
No,
it'll be like, who's that? Okay, I have to bring this up. Do you know who Derek Smith is?
Robert Stanton.
Nope. He is the much taller version, potentially the son of Mr. Incredible's boss.
Absolutely, he is.
Like the spitting image of.
Yeah. Just younger and stretched.
Yeah. Like, it is creepy how much he looks like the boss from The Incredibles, the first movie. That threw me for a loop.
That really fucked with your brain, huh?
It was weird. Like, it was just one of those things. Like, you should not look that much.
But it's like the archetype, right?
Yeah, but it was just like facial structure.
I guess
that's the problem. So at what point, like, I was kind of curious. Like, she's in all this debt. She has so many clothes. They watch when they're in the bookstore, Kristen Ritter finds a self-help DVD for Shopaholics.
Yeah.
And they watch it. And the advice in the show or in the DVD, which is Ed Helms, which is the most random bit part for Ed Helms.
Again, 2009 though. 2009 it helps. He's not like...
Yeah.
He was bit part at that time.
I forget how long ago 2009 was.
Yeah, 11 years. Never forget. 2009, 11 years. Never forget. Move on.
It's 13 years ago, man.
Math's hard. Fuck off. Don't fucking come at me with numbers, bro.
You already forgot.
Fucking
Did you think it was the year 2020? Are we just about to start?
Dude.
Wait. It is March 3rd, 2020. We don't know what's about to hit us.
In 12 days, our nation will shut down. Okay, so she does pay off a bit of this debt, though. Because she goes to 9,400. That's not a small feat.
No. Again, that is one specific card.
Oh, so her total was 16,1262.
Just her debt that Derek Smith was after.
Oh, so she only owes like 5,000 in other cards. That's pretty good.
But I thought
no.
She raised the full amount though. Still,
they compile all her bills and they say her total owed is 16,1262.
Yeah. How did you get then? So she owes 9,000 and whatever to Smith. Yeah. How did you get? She only has 5,000 more.
Because it was
8,000.
It was 94.
Okay.
Oh God, I was using the joke 16,000 number and like rounding up. Like I'm sure it's like just over 10, just under 9, like somewhere with the change. But yeah, she's like half the debt is in one, more than half the debt. 2/3 of the debt is in one card. Mm-hmm. That being paid off is very manageable. Yes. And also at the end when she sells everything, she has some to share. No,
clears like 16 or so.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I just got sent something that I shouldn't have been sent. Jesse is looking at my phone right now because somebody.
This is gonna go face down for the rest of the episode.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. Later on, down the road, most likely next year, I can talk about the text message I just got. Okay.
Ta-da.
I'm very excited right now, though.
Okay, anyway, shut up. Let's continue.
Okay, so...
That really threw a loop through everything.
Yeah.
If we had sponsors, we would be able to...
We just throw a commercial right here.
Watch. Cut. You just got like a script from Last of Us. Like pages.
Like script pages from the Last of Us TV show.
Hey, we're back!
What?
We're back. Okay. So Derek Smith keeps calling the office, and
she comes up with
the worst lie ever, which is that Derek Smith is her ex-boyfriend who's pretending to be a debt collector to stalk her.
Yes.
That is a dangerous lie.
Absolutely, it is, but effective.
It is. Keeps him out of the office.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how debt collection laws are in the States, but
this man's way too aggressive to be a debt collector.
In Canada, this would be considered harassment, and they would get in trouble for this.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like this man, the constant calling on a personal level, like on a personal level, he is like coming for her
Yeah.
Like he has notes of all her excuses and lies, and he's like calling, like not just being like, it's not like, oh man, no, you said that you were doing this. He's like, oh, are you ice fishing again? Like it's like this is a personal fucking vendetta.
Like he describes to like a fellow debt collector in training over the phone of like, this is what you do. You walk them to the goddamn edge, and then you pull them back.
Yeah, you let them almost jump, and
yeah.
then you take them back, and you get what you want out of them.
Oh, I was spiking way too hard. That's why I backed
I'll
off.
turn you down. Yeah, you're just getting a little echoey there.
Oh.
With the...
Jacob's the man of many voices, it seems like.
I'm not.
Go closer. Go closer, Jacob.
I'm closer.
I turned you down. You can get a lot closer.
Okay.
We just moved into the garage. We don't have like soundproofing panels yet.
It's drier than the office.
We'll get there.
But if you watch the next 3 episodes, you'll see that we don't get there.
We don't get there.
You don't know that.
At least until episode 8.
Yeah.
Or at the soonest, we'll get there at episode 8. I really did like the fact that the people around Rebecca were calling her out on her shit.
Yeah, and honestly, it did deal with like the addiction side decently well, with one exception. Like her line, her conversation when she does later get caught of like why do you shop? It's like, because when I do, the world's better, and then it's not again, and I want to do it again, is one of the most succinct ways I've ever heard addiction put.
Yeah.
And not dramatic, just like factual. This is the emotion I get, and when it's robbed from me, I need it back.
Yeah.
Where it's not good is how they treat the Shopaholics group. Because if you replace that with alcohol or like any drug, those scenes are horrifying.
Yeah.
Think about it. Just let that sink in, where she's like not her like when she starts explaining like how she feels about like when she shops, but everyone fucking jonesing out around her, just fucking wanting like the leather shoes.
Yeah.
And by the way, the most interesting character in this movie we do not learn enough about, which is fucking Ryuichi. I don't know what, like, he had a bridesmaid dress.
Yep.
He is obsessed with shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That man is just fascinating to me.
Italian leather.
I just love that. Like, who's ever used the excuse if it's a bridesmaid's dress before, and his hand just goes up.
Oh, what's her name? The new SA rep or whatever. She's because she was in Just Shoot Me. That's what I always remember her from.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of like classic comedies. She also played the principal in it was a cartoon, Fillmore.
Oh yep.
She was the voice of the principal in Fillmore.
She took that group by storm. Though.
Yeah,
She's like, nope, I'm in charge now.
Yes.
I it's also supposed to be anonymous, right? Why does she keep saying her full name every time she walks in? She's like, I'm Rebecca Bloomberg.
She does.
Hi, Rebecca. It's like,
Wendy Malick.
you do not.
Yeah, she just always plays like the very powerful woman. She's good at it.
She's amazing at it. Mm-hmm. What's the last thing she was in?
For the longest time, I thought she was Einhorn in...
No, Finkel's Einhorn.
Yeah, I know, but for the longest time I thought it was her, and it wasn't until like way later that I realized that it was the same woman from Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
Whose name I can now not remember.
Oh, she was in Centaur World. What the fuck is that?
There's something
better
called
show
Centaur
up
World.
On the list.
It's a show. Anyways, we're going to move on.
Okay.
We're gonna
that was the thing I was... oh, no, did I... Oh, no, yeah. So the thing that I was talking about before I was interrupted.
Segued, but sure.
Segued. Was the fact that Ed Helms' advice in these DVDs is to throw everything away. Just everything you've bought, everything in your house, throw it away. And I'm sitting there going like, maybe if somebody's a shopaholic and they've racked up a bunch of debt, which you talk about in your DVD series, just maybe give them the advice to sell it.
Yeah, that was a weird, because like that really was that was at the end of the day the solution to her problem.
Yeah.
Well, not really. The final shot does show that she is not fixed. Fixed, by the way, fixed is the wrong word. She's not recovered. But like, yeah, that's because he's just like fucking yeet it. He took his like weed whacker that fit in a box. By the way, did anyone else notice that?
Yeah.
It was a single square box, but there was a weed whacker head. I don't know why that. I don't like. The prop team was fucking around at that point, right? Like, are they implying that unless it's like a fucking box of holding and the weed whacker's all the way down? I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely just cut off a weed whacker and stuck it in the box so that just the tip of it was sticking out.
that is like the French bread and lettuce equivalent of a junk box. Weed whacker,
A weed whacker.
and toaster.
Oh, I'm gonna need to do that now.
Yeah.
Well, watch out for it, people. Watch for my name in the credits of films. If you see half of a
Weed
weed whacker.
whacker. That's a signature move.
I've heard about this.
This is a Zach Jones production.
Half a weed whacker.
I actually didn't realize it was half a weed whacker until you were talking about it. I repictured the box and I went, "There's half a weed whacker in there."
So they end up going to this conference in Florida.
Miami, yeah.
Yes, in Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
There was a scene where they're going around there. They're talking to all
It's like a magazine conference, right?
Yeah, it's a magazine conference.
Which are apparently
But
things.
they go do everything's a conference.
That's what I mean. It's like,
There's a conference for everything.
Yeah.
We're going to Florida for a conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's for like video. That's by saving children with video games. That's totally valid.
And magazines is not.
Yeah, it's a dying industry. Anyways, go on.
That's what Florida is.
But
Sorry.
this is something that often comes down to people wanting Jacob's department to fix it. Mm-hmm. And Jesse's department desperately trying to do something about it. It was windy as fuck when they were filming that scene.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah. Like the fucking palm trees were blowing, their hair was blowing.
People like to forget that on the ocean, the wind moves like a motherfucker.
Yeah. And so what a lot of people don't realize is, when you're filming in locations like this, they look great, but they can be an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
We run into that a lot because we live on a very large lake.
Yeah.
And they like to film right on the waterfront a lot because it's beautiful scenery. You have the water, you've got the mountains in the background. You do it at sunset. It looks gorgeous. But it gets really windy. And we've had troubles before. We had a movie just recently where we had issues.
Yeah, it's
Filming by the water.
It's anywhere from just like logistics to getting the shot to like safety issues. Like you can have wind enough to be like, oh god, we need to start down production because it's it's too windy.
Yeah. I have seen we have these a 12 by. No, sorry, it was a 20 by.
Frame.
It was
like
a
a
20
frame.
foot by 20
diffusion
foot
frame.
frame, diffusion frame.
So
that
again,
had-
hold on. There'll be a 20 by 20 frame with a piece of diffusion through, so they'll put in front of lights so it's softer and not as harsh as lights hitting us.
It's a white fabric that they stretch in a frame and shine a light
Sail.
through it.
In the wind, it's a sail.
No, it's a sail.
Dun, 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 dun. And then we get sued.
We already have insulted the mouse. It's fine.
Yeah, if they don't come after us, we're good. Anyways, there were two grips. Grips being the men who set up such equipment,
Big tough boys.
sitting on
grip
the
it.
stands that are holding this frame as extra weight. They've also piled a bunch of sandbags on it, but then they sit on top of the sandbags because it's getting a little windy. And the wind picked up, and it lifted this 20 foot by 20 foot frame about 6 feet in the air
yep.
with the grips strapped onto it. They did not enjoy that, and we took down that frame immediately after that.
Yeah, which actually I want to look back at that scene you're talking about with the wind. Like I do wonder if we could like see the lighting in that scene and be like, oh, they did not want to light it this way. But they might. But like you're saying, like safety wise, you sometimes be like, no, we're just gonna put the camera here. We're gonna shoot the scene and we're gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only got this location for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
We got to get the scene out. We got to get out of here. Happens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, 4 hours to do a scene. What a world. What a world that would be to live
No,
in.
but like, I said the location.
I know,
4
but
hours.
like, yeah. So, by the way, there's a weird beat that I don't like in this movie because it's like manufactured drama, which is at some point, Mr. Brandon, Mr. Crooked Face, his eyes are not even. Anyways, it's very obvious in the hot dog scene, and the rest of the movie hides it. By the way, that's not trying to insult, but it's just like it's very interesting to have like a rom-com and like the male lead not be like picturesque like Adonis man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you notice, whenever it's a British male lead in a rom-com,
Oh yeah, they can be uglier.
Yeah, it's the accent makes up for it.
Yeah. But he is like the son of a socialite, but he wants to make it on his own name. Is kind of his internal.
He's a showman.
His like
his
like string of storyline or whatever. His through point. And then at some point, someone drops us in the elevator, and the woman who took Rebecca's job is like, "I must fuck this man."
As soon as the name was dropped,
yeah,
like, "Oh, your mother, the showman." She's like, "What? What?
Yeah.
I want that."
And then so he spends like an entire day basically prepping her to come to this ball with him, and then it's like, "Oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you, Rebecca, that she's gonna come to this ball." And then it's like, "I mean to tell you after we just danced romantically." I'm bringing, and then she's like, "I'm coming to the ball with him," and she's just there, and they kiss, and it's like,
yeah, it was a really weird.
It's just like
I don't understand it because no time passed. Like they were on the balcony. He said, "You're coming to the ball with me. We've been chosen." Nothing. They went dancing. Like there's no moment where he changed his mind.
Yeah, like it's just, and then they're at the ball, and he kind of abandons the rich chick, and then they kiss on that balcony, like,
yeah.
Like there's
also that was the ball, right? Like
no, because they went dancing in Miami.
I know, but I thought the ball was going to be in Miami, and then it was like, no,
it was
the
back.
back.
It was
when
back.
We get to Manhattan.
Yeah,
City.
So like,
they were just leaving to dinner.
Yeah, but like everything about that was like she clearly never had a chance with him because the second the ball happened, he abandons her and goes back to Rebecca, and it's like what was that beat? Like you just had to manufacture some little like tension or some drama because ultimately. Like could
have also been a scene that got cut.
Well, no, but like the thing is that when their relationship falls apart, she has nothing to do with it. It's all about her lying about her qualifications and her dad. Mm-hmm. It's literally just a false beat of tension that is never really resolved because it was never an issue. Like it seems like he's like, "Oh, I went to the ball with her because she asked me. I don't give a shit about her though." Mm-hmm. Like it was never like I choose you over her. It was like, oh, she was never a fucking option.
Yeah.
I did really like the scene. Like they've gone out dancing. She said she doesn't like his tie. They're gonna find him she wants to take him shopping. I did like that,
yeah.
And then he just immediately starts to get stressed out, and then just rattles off everything he wants out of the store, down to like the name brand of the shoes, the style, the shirt, and just sits down and just kind of has a little panic attack.
He's like, and 2 Advil.
Yeah, and 2 Advil, and she's just like, you're Gucci.
You speak Prada.
Or you speak Prada, yeah. But the one thing that really irked me in that scene is he's just like, no, what I need is a size 48 regular tuxedo. That man is not a size 48. I'm surprised the actor said that line out loud. Like an actor should know what size suit they wear.
We already decided this movie just throws
16,000, 1,200.
The scripty was not on the ball on this.
Not at all. The script supervisor really shit the bed here.
Just to give anybody who's watching this on YouTube at home and can see me, for reference, I'm 6'3" and 225 pounds, and I've got a fairly large chest,
a bosom, if you will.
Like I'm a bigger guy. I wear like a size 46 suit. Size 48 would be the equivalent. Like it would look like he's wearing fucking Shaq's
I wonder
coat.
if this has a size.
I don't know. You should find out. But it looks it's huge. There's no. He should be like a 40, 42 maximum. So that bothered me.
This is a 50.
Is that a 50? Doesn't look like a 50.
No.
Some sizing is really off though. I don't know. We have friends who work in this wonderful department called wardrobe. We'll ask them.
We're gonna forget to ask them.
We will.
We have more important shit to do at work.
Yeah, like Sunday when we have to drive an hour in the snow to get there for
magic of filmmaking.
6:00 in the morning, driving up a mountain.
Well,
6:00.
Well, okay, sorry.
You're lucky.
I'm gonna be up there at 6:00 in the morning. Somebody decided they were gonna join the AD department on this movie, and he's gonna be there at 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Regrets?
So I guess are we kind of at the point where it all comes tumbling down? I think we've hit all the.
Yeah, we've kind of hit all the story beats. We're getting right about to
big one. Yeah, there's the big one where it starts to crash. The Smith.
Oh, okay, I thought you were setting up a punchline.
No, like
just your tone was like, oh, the big one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what happens is that Rebecca is asked to come on a television show.
It was gonna flip, and I was irked.
Did it irk you?
It's irksome.
Are you Urkel?
I mean, I will not confirm if I'm irked, but that was irksome, and someone who could be easily irked might have ended up. Do not look at your phone,
Jesse. Did you do that?
Oh,
Because you're irked.
Zach.
No, my kids are sick right now.
Let's
Checking,
Yeah,
make sure my
sure.
wife hasn't texted me.
Yeah. Did they pick up an infection in Finland?
So she gets invited to this TV show, the two of them, and they go.
Breakfast.
This is where things come crashing down.
There's an interesting point before this that I don't know if I'm judging too hard on what you guys' opinion on. Is it weird that the magazine picks out clothing for her because they want to make a good impression, but makes her buy it?
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna send the editor of this crazy fashion magazine with you to go and pick out your wardrobe for the TV show, and then they go to pick out the wardrobe, and
This is where this is my first month's paycheck.
yeah, and then the editor of the magazine just goes, okay, see you later, bye, and just leaves. Like normally
That's
when
also where Bib finds out that she's in debt. Like it's the
Yes,
same
yeah,
moment.
Leslie Bibb
Yeah.
does find out she's in debt at that point because she answers her phone.
Because it says "do not
Right.
answer." If
Yeah.
someone's phone
That
rings
says
that says
I guess
"do not
I guess
answer,"
there is further consequences to this because
she's the one that gets Derek Smith
to the show.
TV
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's the through point, is that because she takes Brandon away from her.
yeah.
Okay, so there is a somewhat point to that plot beat. Still not happy about it.
But yeah, so she gets ditched. She has to pay for this dress herself again.
Yeah.
Don't know how. Oh, she uses her first paycheck.
Yeah. And then she also at the same time buys the bridesmaid dress for Christian Ritter's character.
In the same day, yes.
Yeah, in the same day. So she has these two dresses.
which apparently wasn't a big deal until she goes to
Shopaholics.
Anonymous and just
Well, what happens is she ends up spending her whole paycheck on the dress for the TV show. So she
had money for both though. Like she had both dresses.
Yeah.
but she might not have rent or grocery money or anything
Well,
else.
she
now.
didn't have
When
money
did
to buy
when did she hold on? She defrosted her card. When did that happen? Was that right before that?
That was earlier.
I don't remember what that was for.
What did she buy when she?
It was something she had to have.
Because it won't. So by the way, that was but that's the thing. I was $12,000 in debt, I froze my credit cards, and that's not a financial term. You get that's. I mean, it wasn't as
accounts,
perfect as what she did, where it was somehow like
In the center of the ice.
standing up in the center of the ice. Mine was at the bottom of the thing, and like when I had to get it out at the end of it,
how water
I just
works.
melted the bottom and then threw the rest of the ice away. I didn't have to fucking like.
Water doesn't freeze like you drop a card in water; it doesn't instantly freeze.
Yeah,
Mid.
but no, that was the thing. I froze my credit cards so that I couldn't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had to pay them off, it was just like I can only put money into it, and nothing comes out of it.
Yep.
I mean, when you have a credit card through your bank, that doesn't quite work, but it's fine. Because then you
Or
can just
nowadays when
transfer from accounts. Yeah,
you can put your credit card on your phone. It's dangerous.
yeah. It's harder to be an addict these days. What?
So, anyways, after she buys the dress for the show and she's blown her whole paycheck, she rushes to get to a Shopaholics Anonymous meeting.
With both the dress and her bridesmaid dress.
Yes, in a bag.
Yeah.
At which point she arrives at the meeting. There's another woman who's there for the meeting, and she says, "Can I put these in your trunk? It doesn't look good to show up with a bag."
Again, let's pretend this is an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and she showed up with two 2.6s.
And said, "Can I stash these in your trunk?"
It doesn't
before
look
going
good to
into the
show up
meeting?"
to AA with two bottles of like.
Yeah.
it's a little weird.
The equivalent, yeah.
So it turns
She's right.
out,
It doesn't look good.
So it turns out that the woman she meets outside is the new person running Shopaholics Anonymous, who immediately is like, "Oh, I got you now. We're going to go donate these two dresses." And she's freaking out, being like, "No, I just spent like a month's paycheck on this one because it's a dress for an appearance on a television series."
She does have a good line though, which is like, if you're willing to spend, was it to send your money away?
Spend money on things you don't need.
You should be fine at not making money on things you don't need, or something like that. It was a really interesting way of like phrasing it.
Or giving away things you don't need for no money or something. Like it was the reverse.
Oh no, it's if you're willing to spend money on things you don't need, then you should be willing to give to people that need it for no money.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice little. There's a few like bits of dialogue in this movie that are some nice like, you know.
Yeah, but the problem is now is that she's been forced to donate both her bridesmaid's dress and the dress for the TV show.
Problematic.
So this is also when we find out that what was his name?
Ryuichi.
At some point
Ryuichi.
has had a dress that he tried to say was I need it. It's a bridesmaid's dress. It's never explained.
Yeah, man's fascinating. We need a sequel with him. He's still a shopaholic. We could have Confessions of a Shopaholic too. Ryuichi's Day Out.
We're also gonna rewind for a second and talk about the first time that she goes to the Shopaholics meeting and she causes everybody. She goes into this huge rant about how amazing it is and how good it makes you feel, and it's just you can't live without shopping. And then everybody relapses, and she goes and she's in a store. And she sees one of the people from the meeting just on the floor.
Ms. Patinsky, I think, because she also has a couple times where that woman has like a fucking fiend session, and she's fiending for it.
Yeah,
that woman does need help.
Yes.
Again, the equivalent.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, okay, you're in a drug den and you see your sponsor, or you're in a bar and you see your sponsor. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. Anyways,
and they yell, "You did this to me."
So, anyways, she comes back to the show. She comes back to the show, and the thrift store, and she's like, "I'll buy the dresses back," and they're like $120 for both dresses. And she's like, I don't have $120. And she's like, well, it's $20 for the bridesmaid's dress or $100 for the fancy dress.
Sophie's choice.
And then it cuts to her on the TV show wearing her show the dress for the show.
She's $20 short again. What did she do when she was $20 short before?
She tried to.
She went to the hot dog stand. Why is she not back at the hot dog stand? Does Kristen Ritter mean this little to her?
Yeah.
Like, it's not. You can only get one dress. You're not trying hard enough.
Here's the other thing. I don't want to presume. I feel like Isla Fisher, who's a very attractive woman, could walk on the street in New York and be like, I need $20. Can you help me out? And a man would give it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For a bridesmaid's dress for her best friend.
Yeah.
The $20 is not much. Really.
I feel like she could have been fine. So then now we see her at the TV show, and
she's wearing the
nice dress.
She chose the nice dress over. She basically chose her job over her friend's wedding. Her best friend and roommate's wedding.
Yeah. And then somebody shows up.
Who is it, Zachary?
I'm asking you.
Oh, it's Derek Smith.
Do not answer.
Yeah. And all her web of lies, which, by the way, I just want to take a 2-second sentence here. They say the web a lot as if it's a new invention in 2009. Anyways.
Yeah.
Her web of lies come unraveling, and it all comes crashing the fuck down. And Babylon burns.
No, it has very little consequence.
Not at all, really. Actually, it helps her life more than it does anything else, really. It's fascinating.
She gets her dream job out of it.
Potentially.
Yeah,
if she wanted it.
Like, we're going into the whole thing of like, oh, the guy finds out something about the woman and he storms off.
I will say this is a very valid... the lies to be mad at, this isn't one that's just like, oh, it's a miscommunication. It's like, you lied to me of who you were. You lied to me about your qualifications. Everything you've talked to me about is a lie. Why the fuck would I ever trust you again?
Yeah. Oh no, it's a legitimate reason, but it's the key bit. But also,
there is a conversation. Like, it's not just like, I don't want to talk to me. He walks away. He's like, explain it to me then, please. Like, there's a semi-adult like back and forth, and then it's not enough to just magically fix it, which like in life it never is. But like, there's an effort to be like, for closure or whatever. Tell me what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, and which is great. And then it happens again because she goes to talk to Kristen Ritter, and then the homeless woman walks by.
Yeah, and then Kristen Ritter acts the fuck out of that small scene.
Oh my god.
Her response of like, what was the line that she?
Okay, wait,
at
sorry.
her? 'Cause
Sorry,
it's
before we
good.
get into the serious point,
Kills it, yeah.
serious part, I want to point out that Derek Smith makes an Eminem joke on the TV show.
with a real Rebecca Bloomwood, please stand up.
And then he makes a good joke about his own appearance.
He does.
I really like
when
that.
when she's like, no, he's my ex-boyfriend, and then everybody's kind of looking around the room, and Derek Smith just goes, "The longer you look at me, the funnier that gets."
Yeah, so good, so good.
He's like, I don't care. I know I'm not attractive, but I'm good at my goddamn job.
Here's the thing, Derek Smith has no personal qualms to go through, really. I mean, he's got some personality issues, but like his personal demons are well intact from what it seems like. That man is adjusted. Whether you like where he's adjusted to is a different thing, but that man's adjusted.
Yeah,
He's dedicated to his craft.
Yeah,
he's dedicated.
he found his life.
He's found his niche.
He draws little sharks on his notebook.
He does. It's adorable.
Anyways, Kristen Ritter, holy shit.
Yeah.
So again,
That's
same
powerful.
thing is we see the homeless woman with the dress, and
Because she got it from the secondhand store.
What was she
Yeah.
singing?
She was aggressive about it,
It
though.
was very aggressive singing.
but they go inside, and it's the traditional Rebecca yells, this time I can explain it, and Kristen turns around and screams, "Then explain."
In a really real way.
Oh yeah, like it's one of those, like, you're just like, she dug down deep somewhere where somebody pissed her off, and she pulled that out and she used it, and then Rebecca just has no response. Like, she can't, like, she's like, I can explain, and when she's like, it's like, okay, explain it. She can't.
No.
Which, I mean, she could have explained what happened. It wouldn't have helped.
Yeah. I mean, but it's one of the things where it's like I think we've all been in the situations where like you're asked to explain it, even though you could fully explain, like just because of the emotions going around, you are kind of at like
You're hitting a wall.
you're paralyzed. You're like, because you're like, how do I, like, I know I'm wrong. So how do I explain it in a way that doesn't make them matter? And then the more that you're analyzing it in your head, you're now silent for a while, and that's a worse look. And it's again, like I would say, like the human interactions in these movies on an acting side of things are really well done.
Yes.
Like there's no interaction. Like, I mean, again, like the Leslie Bibb character is pretty manufactured to be hateable, and Fred Armisen to a degree as well. But everyone else is a pretty earnest, like, I believe these two humans would interact in this way. Like,
Yes.
these personalities would
And
meld like this.
these are how real people would react to these situations.
Yeah. As absurd as these situations are, except for the Scandinavians who got slapped and immediately were just down for it. That's a little weird. Not judging people that are into that. I'm just saying it's not appropriate the way they did it.
So Rebecca goes to talk to her parents,
Don't get
and
you.
there's I can't remember if this is the seaside scene.
Yeah.
Which was randomly winter.
No, this one they show up in
They're in
Manhattan.
Finland.
This is when they show up in Manhattan.
No. But at the seaside scene, there's snow everywhere.
Yeah, I think the movie just takes place in the winter. Everybody's wearing coats and boots and stuff.
There's no snow
Yeah,
anymore.
but
Like a
New
very
York,
mild
New York is
winter.
New York is like Vancouver as far as winter goes.
I guess, yeah.
Where you can have snow one day and no snow the next.
I guess, yeah.
I think. I don't know. I've never been to New York City.
Okay, it's fair.
I think like what the new Sony Spider-Man games. One of those takes place in the winter, right? That's kind of my idea of.
Miles Morales does take place in the winter.
Yeah,
and
there we
there's
go.
snow fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but it's not like a lot.
It's everywhere.
Anyways, but there's this.
I've also
great-
seen fucking Home Alone 2, and guess what? There's snow all over that motherfucker.
Okay, it could be like late, like it could be early spring. Whatever.
No, this movie's fucking unwatchable.
They went to Finland. There was
I was
snow.
kind of hoping.
They took the
There
RV
is-
to Finland.
Oh yeah, so her parents have purchased this RV.
And it really completed John Goodman's life. Like,
No,
yeah.
no, it didn't.
But like they've been frugal their whole lives. They read
yeah,
this.
that was
I
another
like
good
that
moment.
quote.
Like
I like that quote.
they read. That's what I think I'm getting to. The same
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Is it the what defines him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that. I'll get you there though.
Yeah.
Tee it up, smack it down.
I'm gonna tee it. So they
I'm almost there. Almost.
they read this article. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get you there. They read this article
I lost it.
about girl in the green scarf.
You like that, Jacob?
Or,
Is he getting you there? Is he getting you there?
I'm setting up context.
The hammer got you off.
Do it slower.
So her parents read the article by the girl in the green scarf, and they've decided to take all this money they've saved over their whole lives being so frugal and spend their entire life savings on a Winnebago.
A big one.
That her dad has always wanted.
Which
And
apparently
can't drive.
it was only 13,000?
Yeah. I'm gonna...
It's not new. It looks pretty... It looks used.
Yeah. I guess nowadays they're super expensive.
Like I think secondhand, like a couple like mid-teens grand for a Winnebago that's used. Yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised.
that's
Like
their-
used motorhomes nowadays go for like 60 grand.
Yeah. Again, it's been like what 18 years or whatever the fuck.
Also,
number you
there's
threw
a
at me.
parts shortage in the entire world. Everything used has gone way up in
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
We live in hard times. Anyways,
Not as hard as Finland.
we're having another heart-to-heart where John Goodman offers to sell the Winnebago to pay off his daughter's debt.
Yeah.
I'm almost there, guys.
Come on, Jacob. They're having this warm
We like perverted this moment.
heart-to-heart
perverted it.
moment.
Okay.
No, it's a really sweet moment.
It is genuinely nice.
It's a sweet moment. I think we all picked up on it for sure. It, like, she says the Winnebago RV defines her dad, and because to her it's like material objects define who you are, and that's what makes her a shopaholic. But to him, it's like no, only you and your mother define me.
Yeah.
That's
And of course, like John Goodman delivering it is just like comfort poured into your ears. Like I don't know how to. It's just like
comfort porn.
poured into your ears.
You heard it here
Now
first.
you pervert the moment. I was making a really nice testament on John Goodman and his comfortability, and you just fucking diddled the moment. And now we're stuck in this moment post diddle, and now we just have to live in it. Okay.
I needed to get there. Okay.
You diddled the moment. Oh my god.
That's the episode title. Oh wait.
Those words. Diddled. Oh.
So, anyways, this gives her like a revelation, right?
Yes.
Essentially, and she's kind of figuring it's after this that she gets the job offer, right?
Shortly after. I don't know. I can't. Looking at my notes, I can't remember. Oh yeah, sorry. No, they do the sale first, I think. Or no, she get the job offer first?
Yeah, and then she declines it.
Right.
Yeah.
She's at her parents' house.
That's when she has her second Eureka
Alette.
moment.
She's a lot of those.
Because
Also-
she finds out Luke Brandon is no longer with the company.
Also, John Goodman in the scene when Alette comes to the parents' house. And he
Both
won't,
of them.
He
Joan,
won't leave.
Joan Cusack and John Goodman, when she's getting a job offer from the
Alette
head
magazine.
of Alette, and they're trying to be like out of the room but still spying. Joan Cusack's just straight up doing this in the doorway, like awkwardly, like mid, and then John Goodman goes and sits in the recliner and fucking reefs it back and just stares.
Like just all the way back and just has his head in the doorway to the dining room.
Yeah,
I like
it's
how
so
he
good.
like reaches it back for 1 second and then Joan walks over and puts it back and
Yeah,
just sitting
that whole background action was just that was. Those two actors are good, and like together they were just amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? You don't need to recline right now.
Yeah. And like so she basically realizes that she doesn't really want the job, or at least not in that way, because they also talk about like an affordable, like a column for affordable fashion, because like I guess the interview and her being like talked down to like how much she owes, people like related to it, so they want to capitalize on that and stuff like that. And then they make a comment about like, oh, you can like these shoes. It's like, well, those aren't really affordable. It's like, well, we're not going to talk about prices. And
Or
she's
no,
like,
we'll print the prices really small.
yeah, and it's like, okay, so I have to get this job. Like my morality has to go out the window.
Sell
Yeah.
your soul.
Pretty much.
Well, the editor of Alette says, well, that's what credit cards are for.
Yeah.
You
well,
get it, right, honey?
And she's like, you have good. She even calls it. She's like, you have good morals, but to work for my magazine, you won't, or like something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
And,
So,
then,
yeah,
and then she finds out Luke Brandon's not with the company, and she's like, yeah, I don't want this.
Yeah, because Luke like leaves to set up his own company because he wants to be a self-made man,
Which was also a cool moment of him meeting with the John Lithgow
and him
being
not
like,
murdering him. Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's like, okay, we're gonna give you your new magazine under the head of the company, and he's like, wait, I want my name on the wall.
Yeah.
And like the interaction of like, him asking John Lithgow, it's like, how did you feel when your name went up in the line?
Yeah, because it wasn't just like, oh, I want this. It's like, oh, this was like a defining moment for you, and I want and I need that in my life.
Yeah.
And then so she declines the job and then does, again, let's call the scene like it is. A bunch of heroin addicts get a bunch of heroin out of her house, bring it down to the Heroin Anonymous facility, and then sell it to a bunch of rabid people that explode through the door while also fighting the urge to use it themselves.
Yeah,
and
that's the scene I've just described to you.
And auction off the best heroin,
some sweet heroin. Mexican black tar heroin that was used by Castro.
The scarf
for $200.
But anyways, while this sale is happening, one of my favorite lines in the movie occurs, and it's a throwaway line just as it's the montage of the sale, and the line is
it this one?
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking to somebody. It's like, what would your mother like? And the response is sobriety.
Yep. And no, that's the receptionist friend.
Yeah. So like, what would your mother like?
So here's a fun one. So they eventually get into a bidding war between two people, a woman in black and a woman in pink. Those are how they are credited, by the way.
Yeah.
And the woman in pink wants to buy it. The woman in black has a caller on her phone that's buying it. This becomes relevant later.
Yeah.
The woman in pink wins it, and we recognize her.
Yeah, where's she from?
She is the lead actress from Cabin in the Woods.
Yep.
The one that survives, or mostly survives.
The virgin.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it really broke. For a second, I thought she was Dakota Johnson.
Didn't that come out around the same time?
It was like 2011, 2012.
Okay,
so it was like 4 years later. Yeah. And so she does sell the scarf, and it's like which I thought was a weird moment because like that felt like a touchstone piece. Like clearly through the whole movie, like that's been a defining. Like I mean, the fact that you busted out, it wasn't just a one throwaway gag. It's like it's kind of a through point.
But didn't Luke buy it?
So that's where we get to is that it turns proxy. Out that he was of both people buying the auction, and so he bought it.
But based on that girl's face, it was like I don't think she was working for anyone.
Yeah, she was
wanted that scarf
for that. No, doesn't she turn back?
No, doesn't she talk to the woman black and
like,
or
no? She turns back into something like it's like I'm getting this scarf, like it's or it's something.
But again, it could have been one of those like I was hired by this person, like my job is
who's a high-ranking socialite
and who's super hot. He's with Sherman. Yeah. He's got maybe not that hot, but he's got a British accent.
So then she walks by like a store. And all the mannequins applaud her in the most horrifying silent display.
No. She goes to the wedding first.
Oh yeah, she does.
She shows up to the wedding
seconds before they go down the aisle.
Yeah, and there's a little forgiveness speech there. Mm-hmm. But what I realized is it's like the wedding happens and they get in the car and they drive away. Is there no reception at this wedding? It's a midday wedding with no reception.
Okay, let's say there's no reception. Let's pretend this is the thing. Have we all been in like groom's parties? Is that what it's called? Bridal party is like
bridal party.
I don't know if there's
no. Bridal party is everybody.
Okay, so have we all been in bridal parties? I have.
Yes.
This is a binary answer.
I still have my bridesmaid dress. So.
Okay. Always a bride, never.
Rude. She's wedding.
Jacob's always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've all been in bridal parties, right?
Yes.
Have you been in?
Sort of.
You've been a groomsman before?
I think unofficially.
Did you stand up at the front of the wedding?
No, but I was like one of like. There was a very small wedding.
Oh, so you were like one of the few witnesses type thing.
Yeah, I was like one of like three other guys there. So I'm assuming it just wasn't
like.
I just didn't get the little stand up moment. But I was like, I guess
did anyone stand up with them?
No.
Okay.
Parents, just parents.
Okay, so then anyways, the point I'm making here is at a wedding, if you're as a groomsman, and the bride and groom drive away, you don't get to leave. You're responsible for a lot of like the
cleaning up,
logistics, closing up shop. Like you are the people that do the work of the bridal party.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's the maid of honor,
and she just fucks off.
Peace.
Yeah. She didn't do anything leading up to it.
Granted,
anything after.
It could have been one of those like they left.
She should have been. Pick the.
So it is not uncommon for you have the ceremony, the bride and groom leave, they go do a bunch of photos, and then the reception is later.
Like 5 hours later or whatever. Yeah.
Usually the rest of the bridal party comes along for the photos, though.
Yeah. Now, this is this is a common thing in rom-coms. In an episode you'll see later, this gets talked about again, where a main character gets chosen to be the maid of honor, and it's set up to be a disappointment factor in the story, and then they do nothing, no work. Like, we don't address it, but in baggage claim, she is absent for everything up to the wedding.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. This movie, same thing. She's occupied doing everything.
No,
else.
she was there for like dress fittings and stuff.
It's one beat. One beat, and that's not that.
There's not.
And honestly,
like,
dress fittings more often than not, bridesmaid doesn't have to be there. It's fucking the moms.
Also, this wedding shows up really quickly. Like, it goes from she's engaged to wedding really fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Also, Kristen Ritter kind of treats her mom like shit.
Oh,
just constantly just like brushing her off, being like, "Go away, go get a muffin, go get a cupcake."
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So anyway, so she kind of like, come to Jesus with the friends, and then again after she's walking down the street, and every mannequin in the world applauds her. Where it's just long in this movie that you forgot this was the thing this movie does, and then they start doing it again, and you just scream, "Oh God, it's happening again! My eyes, my eyes!"
Yeah.
And then the man shows up at the end, and he's like, I don't even remember the dialogue. Like,
I don't.
It's
I
kind of just
literally
like
blanked on the entire ending.
It's basically it's like, "I am here to forgive you and kiss," and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sad now." He's like, "I got the scarf," wraps it around her, and then they kiss, and then that's the end, really.
Which basically, it was like he heard that she was taking steps to better herself.
Oh yeah, because crazy cubicle lady went to the sale.
Yeah, she was gonna go to the sale.
Right,
she finds out about the sale. So he finds out that she's like selling all of her shit. He's like, "Oh, okay." So like she understands she has a problem. She's trying to fix herself. Yada yada yada. And then that's kind of the when he's at the bank trying to get a loan, my note is this the bank from Spider-Man 2?
I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh God.
Just waiting for Doc Ock to throw a fucking bag of money at him.
Bag of coins. Remember, he steals bags of coins with the money symbol on it.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out to Alfred
cartoonish.
Molina.
Yeah.
And his fucking coin stealing ways.
Yeah.
He needed more tritium. Tritium?
Tritium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power of the sun in the palm of your hand.
Okay. So ratings. Let's rate this.
Yeah, I never go first. I've just decided this is the thing.
And the thing is, you've done it with with both Mark and Nina now. So wait, have you? I don't know. Maybe you will do it with Mark and Nina eventually.
By the way, I like how we did say at one point that this is March 3rd, so even that's wrong. We fucked up our own schedule.
We ended up having a long meeting day yesterday.
Never forget.
I was like, guys.
I know, we have to go watch The Batman. I'm aware. It is March 3rd.
It's March 3rd. The Batman is released today.
Yeah.
We're going to go watch it immediately after we stop recording this.
Oh, wait. No,
it's 30 minutes away, and we got to fucking go. We got to pack up still.
Yeah.
Ratings,
Jacob.
2.5.
Out of
5.
Oh, no, it's out of 10.
I know, but I'm going on a 5.
Okay, so he's out of 5. He's at 5.
Actually, I'll give it a 6.
Okay, 6.
Okay.
I know we were doing technical these.
Have we ever done that?
Like,
well, we've all talked about it. Like why would you give it a 6? Why would you give it a 6? Like, your overall.
I cannot speak to the technical side at all.
He's saying that maybe in the future I might ask for an enjoyment rating and a technical rating.
Oh, interesting.
Possibly.
Interesting.
I might do that eventually.
It's
Not in the next 3 episodes, but yeah, maybe.
Well, I just remember it being discussed at some point. Either you guys do that or not.
Dude, when you talk like that with the scarf, you look so pretentious. Like, I know you're not, but like the move and the hand motion with the scarf. You look like your name's Philippe.
I give it a 6.
Okay.
Because it disappoints me on so many levels, but it's still okay. The acting,
That's what I mean. It really does the charm.
Acting,
Enjoyment level, like a 5. Like, it wasn't exciting to me. I wasn't overly entertained by it. I mean, no, I'm gonna bump that up to like a 6 purely because of some of the cast, like Fred Armisen, Goodman, Cusack, Lithgow. They took their scenes to the point where I actually enjoyed their scenes. Technical level. I mean, it's a solid film on a technical standpoint. We talked about.
I can't fault it for it. Like, we have not talked about any sound design, production design, camera
Wardrobe.
work, wardrobe.
We talked about sound.
No, but what I'm saying is like, in my opinion, when nothing detracts you, it's good.
Yeah.
Like
there was at no point. I did have a note like questioning what the wardrobe budget for this film was, because I feel like it's huge. But yeah, I mean, like it was all solid. There was no point where I was like, this is this girl's obsessed with fashion and she's wearing that. Mm-hmm. No, I like it was on a technical standpoint, like it's a solid 7.
Okay. I would say like I always try to judge movies in a weird metric, which is the intention, because what a movie wants to be and how close it hits that mark is like, to me, if it was a good movie or not, right? And I feel like this really hit what it was trying to be. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it took a script that was like this was probably a script that got shopped at the studio, I think it was Touchstone, and it was like, can we do something with this? Like, I don't think this was like a passion project throughout. This was a script that people were hired to work on, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think people took the script, director, production design, and cast as just 3 examples, not to say the other crew, but the 3 examples here, and put their bit into it. And this felt like a real collaboration. Like, none of this felt like like the storyline felt manufactured, but none of the beats or art design or anything felt like I didn't feel the studio in this at all. I didn't feel like this was a product being made. This felt like, oh, well, we can put this in. Like, the actors were allowed to do whatever they want, I feel like. You know, there was...
Within that structure, yeah.
Yeah, like, it did feel like a truly collaborative effort. Again, like you said, the cast alone, I think, elevated a lot of the scenes. Like, yeah. And honestly, the emotional beats hit.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like...
Oh, yeah, like, the TV show moment, and then Kristen Ritter, the John Goodman moments. Like, they all, like, oh...
Yeah, they do their job. You're invested in the characters, and at the end of the day, you care about what's happening, even though the story is pretty, I don't want to say mundane, but it's average and predictable to a degree.
How do people wear scarves?
I know, man. And then on the other side of things, the mannequins existed. 1 out of 10. So that is an average score. A 4.6. Repeating.
Yeah,
of course.
They should have had Christopher Eccleston show up with the mannequins, because it's like one of the. It's the first. Who? It's actually the first.
Who?
Doctor Who. He was the 8th.
Really?
Ninth.
The Canadian was the Canadian movie one was the 8th one.
Okay, yeah. But like that was the first reboot Doctor Who episode was mannequins.
Mm. Yeah, this has been your Doctor Who lore.
Next week...
Maybe Ed Helm's box is a TARDIS, and that's where the rest of the Reedwacker is. Love?
Potato?
Love.
No. Babysitters.
Oh,
so next week, the film that the algorithm has decided for us is A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting, I believe. Let's just double check the schedule. Real quick.
This is when you record out of order, things start to get a little.
The problem is like we are literally a couple days away from going to camera on a film that we're all working on, and so we're trying to get all of our recording in.
Busy boys.
But before we start filming this, because we are going to have no time.
Yeah. For a summer day.
And so it was just really who was available on what nights based on their schedules to record the episodes. But for whatever reason, I don't want to change the order of.
Yeah, you've really locked in, like, I guess algorithm wise. Anyways, go on.
Anyways, it is A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting from 2020. It was available on Netflix. I believe it's a Netflix production, so it should be on Netflix all over.
We should clarify we are in Canada, though, so that might change where things are.
Use a VPN. Yeah. Always use protection.
Yeah, if you want to watch this show and we say, hey, we watched it on Disney Plus, hey, we watched it on Netflix, hey, we watched it on Amazon Prime, use a VPN and pick a location in Canada, and then you'll be able to watch all the movies that we watch.
Yeah. We should do a technical score rating next week.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head.
And so just to clarify, this was watched on Disney Plus, this episode of the RCU is brought by Disney Plus.
Yes.
And then you can...
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Woohoo! That's not what
anyways, next week I'm going to have Jacob back, and Nina's going to be here.
Yes.
And that was another episode of the Random Cinematic Universe, the podcast where we let a computer decide what movies we discuss.
Dun, 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 dun.
And now we watch Batman.
We are going to watch the Batman and not reviewing it, and it hurts me. All right, strike the gear. We gotta go. We only have, guys. We have 22 minutes,
And I have to shit some fierce.
That was
Shit after the movie.
Why was that episode?
Wow.
But like I can hear you
shitting on Zach's headphones there, bud.
Whoa. Come on. I'm running out of shuffle room.
I bet I know what you're putting in the bumper of this episode. Open Gangnam Style.
Well, I'm gonna. I actually
that was a
had.
popular song. Was that about 2009? Was that about when this movie came out?
That's gonna be
Oh, guys, the schedule's just went up. Nobody cares. Put all the food seats up first. I'm kidding. Could you imagine if I didn't even...